Hi there. So you've done a bit of ski touring, you've been out and about a bit, but you want to get your kit more sorted. You want to know exactly what you should be taking for a day at ski touring in the Scottish mountains. So just the absolute basics. You obviously need your boots, your poles, your skis and skins. And the top tip is to put the skins on before you leave in the morning when the ski bases are nice and warm and they'll stick really well, and it saves a little bit of faff in the car park at the start of the day. You'll also need a wee ski strap to keep the skis together when you're carrying them on your rucksack. Now, what kind of rucksack? Turn to that. It's going to be big enough to take everything you need for the day. Between 28 and about 32 litres. It should do it for a full day in the mountains. Less if you're going for a display in the side country, more if you're going for an overnight trip or something like that. So the most important thing with any rucksack, apart from being big enough to take your stuff, is it needs to have the means of carrying the skis, and that normally means compression straps at the side. And some dedicated packs will also allow you to carry the skis in a diagonal as well, so this one can actually do both. What else? Other features to look for in a rucksack? Obviously this has got an integrated helmet carrier. This is a ski touring specific rucksack. And then lots of little compartments in which to keep stuff. So this one also has a compartment to keep your avalanche safety equipment, your probe and your shovel. It's also got a separate compartment for your goggles, another one for sort of like immediate access. It's got a little pocket here on the hip belt, gear loop as well, and then it's got a main compartment that's accessed through zips here on the back. So that's kind of what to look for in a rucksack. Other useful features can be things like ice axe holders, grab handles, systems for carrying camelbacks and hydration packs. So what do you need to carry in your rucksack? Well, I'm just going to go through this and show you what this is in this one, and pretty much covers everything that you're going to need for a big day in the mountains. So the first thing you can see here is I've got a helmet. It's quite good to be able to carry it and not have to wear it when you're going uphill. The next thing, in this little compartment here, I've got my goggles, and there's space in there for a pair of sunglasses as well. And then the next big compartment here you can see, this is where the avalanche safety equipment goes, and other wee bits and pieces. So zip that out there. We've got snow shovel, fit together like that. You've got your avalanche probe. Don't bother carrying the wee bag that it comes in, it'll just blow away in the wind. And I can also fit my ice axe in there as well. It's quite good to keep, when you're not actually going to need the ice axe, particularly when you're skiing down, to keep it out the way. But if you're going to think coming to territory you might need it, it needs to be out and ready to use with any of these spike protectors removed as well. I've also got a pair of skin socks. That's what I use to put the skins in when I'm not using them. It stops the glue sticking to everything. They're much more effective than cheat sheets, which are fiddly and blow away in the wind. Either that or just, stick the skins together, old-fashioned style glue to glue. That's still very effective. So that's everything I've got in there. Turn to this compartment here at the top. Right, I've got a bag, and in this, that's where I keep my thick gloves, buffs, and things like that. So what have I got in here? I've got a pair of bigger ski gloves, a fleece buff as well, and this is a wee balaclava to go under the helmet, and that all goes in its own wee waterproof bag, which is really immediately accessible. I've also got some of my emergency kit that I like to access quickly, like my first aid kit, and a head torch, fully charged up the night before. So that's the kind of the front of the pack. In the hip belt here I've got wee bits and pieces. This is a long piece of nylon cord with knots tied in it, and you use that for isolating columns of snow when you're doing avalanche stability tests. I also got a wee leash for my ice axe. Turn to the back, and this is actually probably the main compartment that you're going to access when you're stopping. Once again, this is because this is a dedicated ski touring pack, you don't just access it from the top and then have to remove everything to get what you need. It provides much more immediate access to everything. And in here I've got a whole range of things. I've got a droop shelter. I've got a bag of spares that includes things like skin wax, a spare ski strap, zip ties, all sorts of wee bits in case of emergency repairs to bindings. It's also got a big long length of cord that you can help use navigating in whiteouts. What else? I've got my ski crampons in a bag, and I always take my ski crampons. And then inside that I've also got my lunch. I've then got a pair of boot crampons, also in their own wee bag, just to stop the spikes ripping into things. These are very lightweight crampons that I would use normally for emergency use or unplanned use. Don't always carry those, but it depends on the route. Then I've got an insulated mid-shell layer. This is sort of a soft shell with a bit of insulation on it. It's also got a windproof hood. And finally in the bottom, I've got, in terms of clothing, I've got a big insulated jacket to go on over the top of everything. It's synthetic fill, so it will still keep me warm when it's wet, unlike down. I've got a survival bag. And then finally, I've got a personal locator beacon. It's a device that will work anywhere in the world. Press a button on it, speaks to a satellite, which then tells the search and rescue authorities exactly where I am and that I need help. So, that's everything that goes into your rucksack. Just one final wee thing, and this it's quite good in winter to take a flask. Doesn't have to be too big. And also for hydration, this rucksack's got a CamelBak built into it, and the hose is built into the sleeve. And just one word, if you're going to use a CamelBak, you have to insulate the hose and get a kit that does that. And then other wee tips like putting in a salt tablet or like a hydration tablet will help stop the water freezing and blowing back through the tube. But when it's really cold, none of that's going to work. It's still going to freeze up. So you might be better off just taking a water bottle. 600ml water bottle is normally plenty for a full day out. And then, yeah, that's pretty much everything I would carry in the rucksack. The other things that I might carry as well, on my person, I'm going to have a compass, I'm going to have a map in a waterproof case with a means of attaching it to myself, to my jacket. In my pockets I'm going to have things like a knife, maybe some lip balm, some sun cream if you're going to need it for the day. And that pretty much covers everything that's going to go in your rucksack.